sir, I'm on the public screen.
I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it over your head. I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb. There is a
You're a crumb creep coward. I want to fight you.
Why is that?
Because you're a crumb creep lush coward.
You don't even know me, Mayor.
You are a lush, I can tell by looking at you.
Hey y'all, happy Friday. Hope everybody had a great week. We are having a great week, exhausting. We're getting ready for the dance tomorrow night. So we're in full, get the I's dotted, the T's crossed. And
we're in full dance mode. And we have a
Yes.
special guest tonight.
we have our guest, Larry Ferrari, is
Larry
in the
the cheese.
house.
Yes. Larry has graced us with his presence, helped bail us
Yes.
out tonight with some content.
Yes, because I haven't had a minute to think about anything but the dance lately. So,
The rapid baskets and such.
Eric is in the house.
Hey, Mr. Appliance. Live
Yes.
and in the flesh.
And my dryer's still going.
Still drying.
Thank God. Because it does dry like a commercial dryer in this
It
house.
works like a commercial dryer. I'm telling you, that thing, I kid you not,
It's on 24/7.
damn near. I bet you that thing runs 16 hours a day.
And so is the washing machine. So,
Oh, he does
Yeah.
repair?
yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, my
Good.
dryer.
I could call
I
you.
got a line
and,
from Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
He works really hard, and the girl says, "I saw the washing machines." Remember that? That's a classic line.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually helped me fix my dryer. So,
Talked her through it like surgery,
via FaceTime.
like a pilot, man. When the pilot drops dead and the passengers flying in, they talk him in.
like airplane.
He talked her in.
Yeah, yeah,
Walked her
pretty
in.
much. He took the controls and walked me through it. So how's everybody doing with their plans for Thanksgiving? Everybody's getting together and getting their turkeys and all their fixins for Thursday.
My favorite holiday.
I know, I love Thanksgiving because I love to eat
What are you
food.
doing? You going anywhere? What are you up to?
Yeah, I'm going over to my brother's. He
Dig
invites
it.
me every year, yes.
Dig it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, it is nice when everybody can get together. And I don't know anybody out there if they had a chance to check out the holiday. What was it called?
Yeah, I had
Dana.
to check. I'd ask you, but then we've got to clean the bathroom
Yeah.
if you're coming over.
They Dana had the holiday
Sober for the holidays.
Sober for the Holidays meeting last Wednesday at Living Grin. So if you had a chance, if you're in the area and had a chance to get to that, she does a great job with that, and so helpful to those that are very early in recovery. I don't think she videos it, but yeah, we're tight tonight.
It's all right.
We get a new camera angle.
I
Really
showered.
tight. Like we all know each other well.
I showered and put
we all
deodorant
know
on,
each
so I'm
other
safe. Yeah, I feel
I'm
okay.
showered. I have deodorant on.
Yeah, 2 out of 3.
Well, I haven't showered and I end up very flatulent.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
I just wanted to shake you up.
Thanks
all
for
right.
Good. I'm
sharing.
good.
we're closing this show early. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Well,
Yeah, in every conceivable way. Yeah.
Yes.
air constraints were.
Put up a partition
Yeah, I'll tell
or
you.
fartition.
A partition.
There you go. That could be a product for Shark Tank.
Oh, that's so funny.
People
I'm
that work
sitting
in
here.
these cubicles and these office buildings, the fartition.
Yeah, I'm sitting here waiting for Larry to check in, but he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
checked
he's
in.
here. He's
Yeah.
already here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so weird.
So am I.
I'm
but,
so
yeah.
tired. So Larry's gonna do the show tonight.
Don't ignore the snoring. So yeah.
Larry is he came with a few things that he would like to share with us, and
He's bailing us out because we're running out of content. We don't want to sound too redundant and repetitious.
let me
so
know
when
you're
let me
ready.
come over and see what I can do.
yes, so and I'm sharing this out. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna hand it over to these two clowns.
Ooh, large
All right.
print. Large print.
And I forgot my red nose too, and my wig. Damn it! I don't know if it. What was it? Do I get the blinky one or the one that goes? Huh?
Yeah.
Are you talking about clowns?
Yeah.
Heard about the two cannibals? They're eating a clown, and one cannibal said to the other one, "Does this taste
Tastes
funny, to you?"
funny.
Does this taste funny to you?
Yeah, old joke. I'm an
But
old man.
bump.
Yeah.
I'm an old man.
So should I get down to it, or you have other things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I put this book from my meeting. It's Bill Sees It. It's an AA book and it has little stories here and there. And but we talked.
I can see that without my glasses.
Well, I got the large print. What do you
Oh,
think?
okay.
You know?
Oh, okay.
I didn't bring the little book with me. You know, I know better than that. Yeah. Large print and glasses. Yeah,
I
yeah.
have it in a nursing home.
I left my magnifying glass at home. So,
We leave it in the back of the
So-
toilet. No, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
so well,
He does his reading.
a Zoom meeting, we talked about cravings. And I shared, like, there's a line in a song that says, I've been burnt so bad, but I still play with fire. And that's pretty much the way I was in the beginning, the first time around, was when I would, I went to rehab and I did nothing else. And, as time went on, the urges became worse and worse and worse. And, some days would be worse than others. And sometimes I can let it go for a day or a week, but the urge just kept on growing and growing and growing, and the cravings were like unbearable until, I finally caved. I caved in. I started drinking again. That was years of misery. But the problem was, I played with that fire and I got burnt again. I didn't do anything. No sponsor, no meetings, no step work, nothing. And I had to realize that, something had to be done about these cravings. And it took time, took work, as it always did. It took me years to start drinking, to get in the situation I was in, then, to where I am now. But, it's how I handle different things and different cravings. And, just like people have the cravings just for eating, for gambling and drugs, and I had the alcohol. But how does one handle it? Who handles, how are you going to do this? And, it just took time for me to do it. Now, I get to one of these beautiful readings here. All I have to do is find it. There's always,
And that's the great thing about the meetings and everything. You can find people that gives you certain little books that you can read that'll help you once you leave treatment. They can give you some ideas of the books, the literature out there that was so helpful to keep you on track when you're not in a meeting. So, reach out and ask some of the books that may be helpful to you, especially if it's early on. The holidays are coming up. You may need that extra just bit of help. So thank you for sharing that book with us.
okay.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well, you gave me a couple minutes to read this little story here. It's called Instinct to Live. When men and women pour so much alcohol into themselves that they destroy their lives, they commit a most unnatural act. Defying their instinctive desire for self-preservation, they seem bent upon self-destruction. They work against their own deepest instinct. They are progressively humbled by the terrific beating administered by alcohol. The grace of God can enter them and expel their obsession. Here, their powerful instinct to live can cooperate fully with their Creator's desire to give them new life. The central characteristic of spiritual experience is that it gives the recipient a new and better motivation out of all proportion to any process of discipline, belief, or faith. These experiences cannot make us whole at once. They are a rebirth to a fresh and certain opportunity. Now, this was me, I usually, read stuff that pertain, that I could fully identify with. And I was the alcoholic who was hell-bent to destroy myself. I realized I was an alcoholic and that I didn't want help. I was at the point after I failed the first time that I didn't want any help anymore. I said, I'm going to drink till I die. I'm just going to self-destruct and just let it go. Now, and it says about the instinct to survive. Maybe, whatever kicked in, whatever happened to make me want to try, okay, I'll try to this living one more time, just to see if I can do it. And, with the help, like I said when I was speaking earlier about outside help, the sponsor, the readings, the steps, the meetings, they're all things I needed. All the things that, I had to do in order to get, get my head straightened out. And the first thing was the discipline. I had to discipline myself and realize that, this is not going to be easy. And, not to get frustrated, especially early, when I started doing the work and I felt nothing was happening. And, I was like, well, what the hell, what good is this? What good? What is it absolutely doing? Nothing for me. But I stuck with it. And as time went, it took a couple of years, 2.5 years. And, then the next thing is the belief. And, I started to believe when I started seeing a little progress in myself that maybe, maybe this thing is working for me. Maybe all I had to do is get out of my own way, so to speak, and start doing what was, suggested, not commanded, not told to do, but was suggested. And I took what I needed, as they say so many other times in meetings too. And I just kept going and doing the things that I needed to do. And as time went on, I started to feel better about myself. I had to clear my head out first before I had to do anything with the outside world and other people. And as time went on, the belief became the faith. And now I have faith in this program. I believe in this program. Now I know that all I had to do is just stay with this program, not let things bother me, not get stuff crammed up in my head like I did before, like the cravings, like other stuff, maybe like bills or family relations that I didn't work on. Didn't make amends, didn't write down, like the 4th step, didn't do anything about and let it build and build and build in me until what happened? I would drink again. And, and it says experience cannot make us whole at once. And how true that is for me. I didn't, like I explained earlier, I didn't feel anything, in the beginning. I stayed with it. I was like, okay, here it is. Let me try this. And it took time. But, gradually, there was that rebirth to a fresh and certain opportunity. I don't know if opportunity is the right word here, but, to a better life, to a happier life, to know who I am and what I am too, knowing that I am an alcoholic. I always will be an alcoholic. I'm not ashamed to admit it to anyone or anybody. And, and maybe by me, talking about it, and I wear Living Green shirts when I go to the gym, and I have my Living Green wristbands and all, and a couple times I've had people come up to me and ask me like, you were there, and how was it? And I have a friend who's in recovery and stuff like that, and one would be surprised how just wearing that shirt attracts other people to want to ask, want to talk about it. And they ask me how long I've been sober, and and I tell them, they give, that's really good, but I'd let that, I'm past that congratulatory, I'd say thank you, but, after the 22nd, it'll be 6 years and 10 months, and, I'm beyond that. Yes, I'm so grateful, It's just part of life now. It's part interwoven with me, and you know I like it. It just keeps rolling, but it's that instinct. It's that wanting to do this and having to do it, and realizing as time went on, things get better, and they do get better. But one has to put oneself into the program. You know, I went in. You know, I dove into this program because I needed this program. I needed something, or else I was going to revert. You know, I was going to go back to drinking for a third time, and that'd be it for me. My life would be over. There'd be nobody in my life, and I wouldn't have a life. I would be praying for death. I would drink myself to death, and whatever, you know, by whatever means necessary. Whether I get drunk in a car accident, whether I crush and kill my liver, it didn't matter. But it's good now. I'm happy.
I'm happy you're happy.
I'm happy.
And your liver's
there's
happy.
Pappy who's
and your
happy.
liver's happy too.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I just want to share this with you. And
It's tough for him to find paragraphs in his book because one paragraph encompasses 5 pages. The print is like this big in the book, so it's.
and I just want to bring this up.
I like that though. It's good for like reading to a group.
Yeah. I am working on finding out the next Living Grin family support group meeting. There's some conflict. So I got a text with some bad information, and I'm getting that straightened out, and I will send that out to everybody.
To any of our regular peeps at the meeting.
Yes, if I have
Stay
any
tuned.
reggies back here.
Reggae.
Reggies.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
What do you call a Jamaican proctologist? The Pokemon. Sorry.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum.
Lost 2 more viewers. Damn, I should have told that one.
Okay, here's another one.
There we
To
go.
guard against a slip. Suppose we fall short of our ideals and stumble. Does this mean that we're going to get drunk? Some people tell us so, but this is only a half-truth. It depends on us and our motives. If we are sorry for what we have done and we have the honest desire to let God take us to better things, we believe we will be forgiven and will have learned our lesson. If we are not sorry and our conduct continues to harm others, we will quite sure to drink. These are facts out of our experience, and that's right. Boy, that's so good for me too. That was me, and let's see, our motives. Yeah, what was my motive the first time around? My motive was I just went to rehab, and because I had to go, and I realized I had a problem with drinking, but you know I really did nothing about it again, and you know my behavior, you know, floundered and started to get worse again, and I did harm others. I hurt a lot of people who loved me, and I loved them too. A lot of family members got thrown out of my house, and deservedly so. There was no argument about that. I was drinking, and I was a bad influence on my teenage kids. My wife couldn't take it anymore. She couldn't take it, you know. So out the door I went, and you know, back to the drinking, and these are the facts of our experience, and I did experience that. But to me, to get back to where you know I am now, it took a long time. It took several years of drinking because I was alone, I had no program, and there was just you know after work going home, hitting that package store, getting something for that night, and the weekends were even worse because I didn't have to go to work. And nothing would last through the night. I buy, you know, no matter how much I bought, and saved it for tomorrow. I never saved it for tomorrow. You know, I drank it, and even if I couldn't drink it anymore, I wouldn't throw it out. I'd keep it half open, whether a can or bottle, didn't matter. So in the morning, I would get up, and there it was, and enough to carry me for a couple hours. I went back to the same old thing again, the same bad habits, and boo-hooing myself. Oh, look at poor me. Nobody understands me. Everybody understood me. You know, until I got to the point where I understood me too, that nothing's going to happen. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I've heard that somewhere, but
Very familiar.
yeah, but
Very familiar.
and I had to change. I remember how many days I sat at home and just pop one after another and after another. You know, I didn't like house cleaning. It was, oh, big, you know, good. I can vacuum and do this and do that. But, you know, like I had the vacuum in one hand and a drink in the other.
Didn't you have a cup holder on your vacuum? One
Sure.
time, I think?
I had the canister type,
Swivel.
so I had to reach down. I'm afraid of falling over. So I kept it on the table or top of the. We have the old-fashioned TV, a big wooden one.
Oh, we were just
The
talking about
console.
that today. It's funny you said that.
Yeah.
You know, where
Nobody
I had-
stole them things back in the day. I wonder why.
Yeah, so
They weighed
Yeah.
like 1,200 pounds.
it was hell. It was hell. Didn't stop me. I felt like, oh, this is, you know, I'm on the verge of death here. Who cares? Yeah, I feel so sorry for myself. I'll have another. And it was bad. It was horrible. But that was then, and this is now. Mm-hmm. And
And everybody goes through it. It's, you know, if you are struggling, you go through the same thing. Your stories may be a little bit different, but it's still the same outcome. You know, you start for all different reasons. You can start just from, you know, experimenting, trying to fit in with your peer groups. It could be, you know, because of a doctor, if they're prescribing a medication, you don't know you have the addictive brain yet. They're the motives that get you started. And, you know, not everything is being done because, you know, you want to be an addict. It's being done because you're trying to fit in, or the doctor prescribed it and you're not about to read that 300-page, you know, paper that comes in with your prescription to, you know, see what it does. The doctor's telling me that it's okay for me to use, and the pharmacist is putting that sticker on there saying, beware, be cautious, don't drive, you know. But whatever the issue is, you're in too much pain to care what that bottle says, what that thing is. The doctor says this is safe and I'm going to take it. And you don't really think about that when you start out and you're in that agonizing pain. And they are all the motives to get started.
yeah, you know, do the proper dosage too. Mm-hmm. You know.
And you also have, you know, the motive to stop. That's, you know, whether it's, what do they say? It's institutions. There's like 3 of them: jail, institutions, or death. Like, there's, you know, these are how you stop using. And, you know, you have to know that there's help out there. And when you're active in use, you may not care about that. You're just not ready for the help, or, you know, you just feel like nobody loves you anymore. And what do? You just continue doing what you were doing instead of, you know, reaching out for that help. Or you're just so high you don't know that there's help out there. People are telling you that, but, you know, they are seeing many people slipping through that fine line with, you know, the system sucks. It really absolutely sucks. So, you know, so many people have fallen through it, so they may not take that step because, you know, it didn't work for them. They tried, they keep going back, and they keep getting booted out, so they're not going to attempt to try it either. So
It's so easy to make an excuse somewhere, you know, we shouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. You talk yourself out of it. You know, like Larry said, sometimes you got to get out of your own way, and I think that was a great statement in itself.
yep.
Sometimes we had to get out of our own way.
Yeah, frustration too is another thing. Well, this is not working. Well, how long you been programmed? A month, a year, 2 years. It's like, well, you know, what the hell do you expect? You know?
Yeah. Are you putting in the work?
Yeah. How much you work? You know, how much do you want? How much do you really want this? How much you see out there? You see other people who've been through the same things that most of us have, and have, you know, worked to climb their way out of that situation, and, you know, have a happier life. I know for them it didn't take 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. for 90% of them. Maybe for some it did. Not for this boy. Not for me. And I realize now that this is this is an everyday thing with me. This is like, like I can drink responsibly now. No, I can't. I tried that bit before. Yeah, I became drunk irresponsibly, and and now it's like, people say I'm doing this for my kids and I'm doing this for this and that. Bullshit. Do it for yourself. I did it for myself first. Now I have other responsibilities. Now I have my children. I have people in my life. And, doing it for them now, yeah, pretty much. Because I don't want to fail now. And have, all these people who came back into my life, rejected me again, saying, here he goes,
Yeah.
Because I'll never get them back. I'll never get them back. And I doubt very much if I ever, get back to anything like a normal, anything close to a normal person.
Right.
Back to having a life, back to having friends. So, I go to meetings every day. And today it was like an in-person meeting, a Zoom meeting, and I'm here. Friday's the busy night for me. And it's 2 meetings every day, except Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, there's only 1. But it's every day. And I make, sure, I can, and if something comes up, sure, I can miss a meeting. But I still need that reinforcement. And plus the fact that I could,
Hey, Barb.
possibly help somebody else too. Listen to my story. When some on Zoom meetings and all, we have this thing, this one Zoom meeting called "Oh My God," our mostly agnostic group of drunks, and it's just secular meeting. But afterwards they have like a coffee talk. It's just like, when we had in-person meetings, we used to go. People used to go with coffee at a diner afterwards and all. So it'd be like a half hour on Zoom talking, and that's where you can cross talk and people ask questions, and I give them my. What it was like for me. I give them my story, and just like at the personal meetings too. Now I have people I talk to once in a while that I met me through the personal meetings or through Zoom meetings, who want to hear what I have to say. Not that what I have to say is like, oh God, this is amazing. It's just my version of the same story of people who want to work it, who want to do it, and it's good. It's I'm glad to help somebody.
What do those non-secular people say? Do they go like, "Oh, my higher power, am I drunk?" What do they say? I mean,
They don't really, some of them talk about a higher power, but they talk about recovery, they talk about alcoholism, and some of them do. I mean, our secular meetings are not just for secular people too. Traditional people would come in there for everybody who wants help with their alcohol. Doesn't matter if they're religious or not religious. Because when people come on there and say, I believe in a God, and hey, that's all well and good. That's fine with me.
I believe in rock and roll.
Yeah.
I'm just curious that they don't, they're not God
Yeah.
believers. I just wonder what.
No, they talk recovery, just like any other meeting, like any other person does. And, they talk about what their problems are, what their little triumphs are. And, it's just like I'm here, I talk about things I've done, good, bad, or indifferent, and how other people, and I've seen other people, I listen to other people, and especially in rehab, I've seen the ones who kind of really trying, and I've seen the ones who are like, here, 30 days I'm out, and I'll be back in,
Right.
in a month.
Yeah, I'm here to clean up for mom and dad and everybody else but me. I just, I need to gain some weight back and I need to get a shower. I need a couple bites to eat and,
Yeah.
and then I'm out of here and then I know what.
Yeah, that's such a common occurrence.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
sad.
I know what corner to hit when, I get out
we
there.
know
and-
people that been stuck in that
wintertime.
cycle for years.
It's wintertime. Ooh, I
Yeah.
got someplace. I had to go someplace.
Yeah, and that's big. Like beds start filling up now because it's getting cold, especially if you're a newbie out there. It's getting cold at night and every other day.
It's not like a camping trip anymore now.
No.
It's more hardcore.
Now it's like shit's hitting the fan. Like, oh damn, I don't have enough blankets. I don't have enough clothes.
And
Like,
I'm seeing the responses on the sites picking up pretty much
yeah,
now. I mean,
looking for a bed. Looking for
a
a
guy
bed.
today goes, "Oh, I'm getting too old for this. I'm going to die out here. I don't see me ever give." I said, Well, it always sounds like you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I said, it's up to you to make that first move. And I said, you got to make the first change.
Yep.
And you know what you have to do. Nobody has to tell you what you have to do. You know what you have to do.
Yeah. Once you
You
realize
just
that.
have to want to do it and make the 1st move. People, you can't coddle people. Like you got to tell them. I mean, they're just looking for all this woe is me stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they're not
no,
getting it
you're
from me. I mean,
fine.
you know
You're
what you got to
fine.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, coddle them
You're
with
a
backhand.
grown ass man.
Yeah.
Yep. You're a grown ass man.
That's our favorite thing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and you know what you got to do. So you got to make the first move.
You're a grown ass
Make
woman.
the first change, and then the other things will fall into place. And it's a big decision. It's not easy, but it's doable.
Now, Barb, what stuff makes you run off? The God stuff? What is it that makes you want to run off? I know you don't want to drink, and I know that you work a hard program. I'm not sure if you're faithful into meetings, but I know that you are doing everything you can to you can't do a little. You can't, you can't say I'm going to have just 2 beers tonight, because 2 beers turn into 1,000.
2 beers is too big.
Yeah, but you cross
Yeah.
that line. You can't.
Yeah, you can. And I see so many people that have time under their belt, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. Well, you know what? It's been 10 years. I'm just going to have one. And you can't.
Like I
You
said,
know?
that's hard for some people to
Yeah.
accept.
So they
That they're
fall again.
forever
That's what I did. I
can
went
never
Yeah.
have that drink or drug again. Forever. Some people think, well, I'm cured.
Right.
I recovered. I love that one. I still get that.
Yeah.
Some of these are, now you're recovered.
Yeah.
You're always in recovery.
Give me that secret. I'd like to recover too. Yeah.
And Barb, and I get what you're saying, because I know when I first got into all of this and trying to find the support that I needed and the tools to learn how to protect my loved one, a lot of it was coming up that it was alcohol. Well, that's not what I was dealing with. I was dealing with substances. And trying to get in my head that alcohol is just as much as a substance, as a pill, as a shot, as encephalating it. It just took me a long time actually to let that sink in, just as much as the God thing. When you're going to these meetings, you have to remember that it was written back in 1930.
38, 30,
30,
whatever.
yeah, 1936, I believe. And it's just, you have to remember that it all started with alcohol. That was the drug back then. And as time goes on, yes, we've seen the change. We've seen it go from alcohol to pills or shots or encephalating. And, the God thing kept coming forward with that. But you have to remember it's your God and the God that you can find. That's what I had to do when I first started trying to read a book or something, and everything's alcohol, everything's AA, and my loved one was not struggling with alcohol at the time that I knew. And then I find out that it's both. So, that's the biggest thing is turning that word God into, someone of your understanding.
When you say higher power, you're always thinking in the back of your head, it's a God thing. It's a God
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
And like Barb, I mean, some people get really turned off by it, especially the younger generation.
Yeah.
I mean, we're becoming less and less a religious world. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, think of it as an inspiration, not as a
Ex-
spiritual
Something.
higher power, whatever.
Right.
You know, what's motivating you? What's your motivation? You know,
Exactly.
Your desire to drink is one thing, but what inspires you to
To-
want to keep going? What's you
Yeah.
know, what's that voice, that thing in your head that all of a sudden turned around and say, well, I got to work this. I know what I have to do, and I need to do it, and I can't lose sight of the they say play the tape forward in a situation of drinking, but you also play the tape forward a little bit about when you see other people who've gone through the same things that you're going through or went through and have come out on the other side, with a better life, a happier person. They're a very happy person or people, because they worked the program and they know they have to keep working the program in order to maintain the mental
Right.
state they're in now, the emotional state they're in now, and that's why I hear people say, "Well, I don't go to half the meetings I used to." Well, that's all well and good if you keep your sobriety, like the most important thing in your life, and the rest of the stuff comes in, the other positive stuff comes in, then that's okay. People, me, I go to a lot of meetings. Other people go to hardly any, but both pretty much in the same boat as far as, what our life is now as compared to when, I was a hapless, hopeless drunk. But you got to want it. You got to want it. You got to work it. And you got to realize it. And get inspiration from people who've been there, done that too.
Right.
Because everybody's story is really, not unique. Everybody had their own version of falling and their own version of returning, but it's pretty much the same thing. We fell, we worked, and we're back, to some kind of sanity, and you just keep working and realize that, what lies ahead depends on what you're doing now. It's like one day at a time. Well, it is one day at a time. What you do today will help you in tomorrow. You can glance at the past, but don't dwell on it.
Yes.
Don't dwell about all the failures. I did that too. I think about, I should have done this and I could have done that, but why? It's over. It's done. It's over. It's done. Today is today. Today I'm going to do this. Today I'm going to go to a meeting. I'm going to do this around the house. I'm going to pay my bills. And just everyday stuff, everything gets interwoven as time goes on.
Yeah.
And you get up, I get up in the morning and I don't worry about drinking or they're going to walk by that bar. That doesn't even affect me anymore. It's like, what do I have to do today as far as a normal daily life of, outside going to a meeting, but anything I could do around the house, go for a walk, go to the park, it just goes.
Right.
But you got to start somewhere.
Right.
You have
And-
to start somewhere.
Right. And Barb, it is up to you. It's your journey. This is your choice. You can choose to walk the line and stay, in the recovery process, or you can choose to give up. It is your choice. This is up to you. But that's why we see so many people out there. There are so many people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people out there in recovery and working the program of Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. The Anonymous program seems to be the highest program out there to help those that are struggling. They have the most success in recovery. And, it's a we program, and they say it all the time. And the we program is because you help each other hold yourselves up. And, you don't have to believe in God. You don't have to, go with that flow. You just, like my uncle always said, like, if I'm struggling and I need to find somebody to help me through it, and that doorknob is my God at that exact moment, then that's who my God is, or my higher power, or whatever is in your head that is making you, like Larry said, your motive to staying where you want to be. So let it be your motive. Let that be, when you hear the word God, let that be. And and I understand your stepdaughter is in Kensington and she is suffering with the disease of addiction. And again, there's nothing you can do. You can go down there, you can grab her by the hair and drag her out of there, but she's just going to go back until she's ready to say, I've had enough. And, you know, we can only hope and pray that, you know, it doesn't take their life, because that we are losing so many people to this addiction. And there's nothing we can do to fix them. You know, I tried everything in my power, and it wasn't until my loved one was ready to do it for himself. And, you know, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. And, you know, that doesn't mean that your family can't be involved in it. Your family loves you. Your family absolutely loves you. We just can't watch you killing yourselves. And that's the hardest part. And when you don't have the backing of your family meeting you where you're at in your addiction, then that does not mean that you have to keep them at home and feed them and, you know, give them, you know, do their laundry, make sure that their room is clean, what have you. That just means that you're there loving them and letting them know that you do love them. If you choose to have them living with you, then that's your choice. Nobody's going to say, I know I'm not going to say that's the biggest mistake you're going to make. That's up to you when you get to that point, depending on how far they're in their addiction. The stealing, the, you know, the messes, the chaos, the, you know, damages to the home, damages, you know, hitting you or what have you. That's when, you know, you start drawing the line, like, I can't live like this anymore. And that's when you have to make the choice. You either stay here and live in our home with the rules that we have set, or you live the lifestyle you've grown accustomed to.
It's often said, like, it's nothing's like more painful than grieving a loved one while they're still alive.
Yes.
I mean, it's often said like that. It's,
And if you don't have the support of the family behind you, you know, it's so much harder to stay on the path of recovery. It's so important that we, you know, have that support, have our family members, you know, knowing that they love you and they're there for you when you're ready to get well. And that's so important. And Eric says, I know I can't give alcohol and drugs another chance to kill. And so many people say that their next one is going to be the one that kills them.
Yep. And you got, like, it's, you know, enabling is just as bad as doing, you know, it's pretty bad too. And like Lori said, you know, they have to want it. You're going to have to want it. You're going to have to do it. And loved ones love you. They'll always love you, but they get frustrated too. Mine did. I mean, how much times could they beg and plead and scream and yell and do everything, you know, to try to, you know, get me to see that I had a problem. I knew I had a problem, but I did nothing about it. And, you know, we're talking about other people and, you know, watching other people. I got another reading here. I'm going to bust it. Seeing is believing. The Wright brothers' almost childish faith that they could build a machine which would fly was the mainspring of their accomplishment. Without that, nothing could have happened. We agnostics and atheists were sticking to the idea that self-sufficiency would solve our problems. When others showed us that God's sufficiency worked with them, we began to feel like those who had insisted the Wrights would never fly. We were seeing another kind of flight, a spiritual liberation from this world. People who rose above their problems. Now, you know, everybody who knows me knows I'm not a big God thing, but, you know, you could do a higher power, you know, whatever works, but,
Doorknob.
you know, doorknob, you could...
I've been hearing this doorknob analogy for almost 40 years.
Yeah, but I'm a latch guy, but that's a different story.
Otherwise, always
Okay.
tell that story.
So, you know, you see where other people have been, like I mentioned earlier.
Hey,
like how
Stacy.
they go, where they've been, how they got to where they were. And, and you have to want that to the point, it's like man will never fly. Well, the Wright brothers did it, and as time went on, we have what we have today as far as flight goes. But, seeing another kind of flight, seeing the spiritual liberation, seeing that, we see these people and we see how happy they are, and you want that. And as you begin to grow into the program, you start feeling that liberation, you start feeling that happiness, you start feeling better about yourself. And, then your problems, you face your problems, and in the end, it's like, wow, I made them out to be bigger than they really were. All I had to do was clear my head and work on them. And it's all and one has to do. First, the biggest problem is between the ears. And once that gets starting to get straightened out, this outside shit like licensing cars and stuff like that, they become almost comical, almost secondary. Once I realized that everything began in my head, then I organized my life, and whatever money I came in, I didn't spend it on goofy stuff like alcohol, and paid bills, got clothes, and things like that. Things fell into place, but I had to see how it worked for other people, and seeing that I wanted this, I wanted it, and I'm working on it, and so far so good.
And it's amazing when, you stop doing the drinking and the drugging, how much money you have in your pocket and how much you can put into clearing up all of the things that may have gotten in the way while you were out there running, ripping and running, they call it. And you just need to know that this is what you want, and you have to work for it. Matt's out there, and it's so helpful to a lot of people, but there's so many more people that are still out there, and they're still working the program. And Thanksgiving morning, Living Grin holds the gratitude meeting, and to stand there and see the alumni come in, people that have walked through the doors of Living Grin for years and years, for as long as Living Grin's been there, to come up and tell a 2-minute part of their story, and share their recovery at 60 years, at 20 years, at 40 years, at 10 years, at 3 days is amazing. And to see how many people come together that still are in touch with each other and still doing what they need to do, because they know that that's what's needed to keep them where they are. It's so important that we keep in touch and stay with the help that's out there. They don't call it a we program because you can do this alone. It's not something you can do alone. We have Eric that's been in recovery for years. Larry, they got time under the belt, and that's the thing, that the more time you
Hello, Stacy.
fight for yourself, the longer you're going to stay where you want to be. So that's we are here with Larry, Stacy. Larry is our
President Blabbermouth. I can't stop talking.
Larry is here with us. He is in recovery, and he also shares in our family group, and brings a lot of information and education to us in the family group. So we know what our loved ones are going through, and he finds the help on what he did and how he is reconnecting with his family. So
Yes, and I'm going to butt in here too. And that Thanksgiving Day, even if you had never been to Living Green, go up there, go up and see, how recovery really works for those who worked for it, and you see all these people there, and there's people I'm going to meet that I haven't seen in a couple of years, and it'll be like I saw them yesterday, and maybe I'll speak. I usually speak every year, but I'm kind of debating that this year, because it's going to be a lot of people, and what am I going to say? Same old thing. Then
No.
again, the same old thing is got what got me.
You can always plug us here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Just
carry
saying
a
that.
big sign, big
Yes.
banner.
Call this
It's a
number.
great event, and it's more invigorating than any football
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And it's only
is.
2 hours.
Yeah, it's amazing. The doors open at 9, so if you are in the Bucks County area, I highly recommend hitting Live and Grin at the Ben Salem campus off of Humeville Road.
Yeah. It's great. It's
Yeah.
absolutely.
People
really
are just,
is.
People are
It's-
just so excited to tell their story. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
And just to
they look forward.
reconnect.
It's like a pilgrimage every year.
Yeah.
It's
The first
pretty
time,
neat.
the first time I went, I was absolutely stunned. I couldn't believe how many people were there.
Yes.
I mean, that was when it was indoors, and they had the patients in the middle, seated, and it filled up. It was wall to wall people. You couldn't get around. You couldn't get around.
You have to get there early. Doors open at 9, so you better be there at 8:30, because once those doors open, it's just, and people are just walking around. Oh my God, how have you been?
Yeah.
It's just,
Is it indoors this year? Or something about a Hansel?
yeah, it's in Hansel Hall.
That's not where we used to do it.
Yeah,
In the
Right.
big round room.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
right where they do their family meeting. So yeah, get out there and check it out, because that's awesome. And again, here's the We program. Here's people that walk the walk. They may have moved out of the area. They may, work got in the way of keeping connected with this particular group. That's not to say they're not connected with another group. But then you come together and it's like, wow. It's just, it's so amazing to see and hear the numbers. And our last dance, they did the what do you call that? The go around where
I know
forget
what
what
it
they
is.
call it.
Where everybody says how many years they have in
Yes.
sobriety. We go try to find the longest one,
Yes.
all the way up to somebody
I
may
think
only
we
have a
had-
couple days.
I think we went from 45 years to just a couple days. Actually, 24 hours. And that's who comes out to these dances. And again, it's the We program. Everybody knows each other. Nobody judges you. Everybody talks and laughs and cries sometimes, because they're just so grateful that they've come so far. And it's just awesome. But recovery is absolutely beautiful. Like they say, it is beautiful, and it is. Especially when you stick with your groups and you just come together at different events or different things. It's so cool.
Yeah. And like I said, people don't judge them. If you see me dance, you be judging. But, I don't hear anybody say anything up behind my back. But, it's just seeing all these people who are in recovery laughing and screaming, having a good time, yelling. And, it's like we were drinking without drinking. We just have a smile and laugh and do goofy stuff.
Oh my God, it's so
Yeah.
much fun. It's so much
Yeah.
fun. We would do the picnic set.
I might bring a few lampshades with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's such a great time. Any event you can get to that is recovery based is amazing. They have baseball games, softball tournaments, and now the cornhole's the big thing. It's just awesome. So
Yeah.
And if you're not going to meetings, you're not finding out about all of these things that they're doing other than going to diners and drinking coffee or bowling. There's so many other things that are going
Softball
on.
tournaments and
Yeah.
dodgeball
Like
tournaments.
the
And this
website,
and that.
go to Living Grin, Living Grin's red site,
A lot of fun to be
alumni
had.
stuff.
Yes, or
Yeah.
any rehab in your area, or recovery house in your area. They list all kinds of things that are going on. Especially if you're if you went through the recovery house and they have a high alumni, they're always doing something. They're going canoeing or tubing down the river or baseball or picnics. There's so much fun in recovery that you don't need to be out there drinking and drugging, and it's hard if you're not giving up the people, places, and things. It's hard to stay in that mode. If you're in early recovery and you're still hanging out people drinking and drugging, that's going to be difficult for you to stay on the right track.
And they're not having as much fun as you'd be having. They're sitting there chain smoking, sitting on a dimly lit bar.
Right, we're not a glum lot, as the expression goes. We do have fun. We do things. It's just not sitting in, like he's mentioned, sitting in a meeting, hearing the same shares time after time, and that's all you do. But there are other things. There's activities, and there are even like anniversaries. Like last week, one group I go to, we had our 21st anniversary. We had 2 speakers. And then, fun and fellowship, as they always say,
Yeah.
which I always thought was a corny thing to experience it a few times. And then, you have food afterwards. You talk to people. You see people from other groups come in that you haven't seen in a while. And December 2nd, I'm going to another one, an anniversary. People, I used to go to that meeting, an in-person meeting, when I didn't have a car, when I, before COVID, and take the bus, go there, and take the bus home, and and it's people you meet you haven't seen in a while, but it's it's part of the fun part too.
Right.
It's it's not like the whip when you're back. Sobriety, get clean,
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's not a cult.
Yeah,
Like
laugh
some
once in
people
a
like
while,
to-
have some
Right.
fun.
Right.
It's a lot more fun when you're clean.
And there's really no excuses, because if you find a way to get to that meeting and you know that you struggle getting there, all you have to do is raise your hand and say, I can't get to the meeting because of X, Y, and Z. And somebody's going to raise their hand and say, listen, where do you live? We'll find somebody that can pick you up, or we'll get you the bus schedule, or, you can't make.
Back and forth out front.
Are they? They can't get to the meeting here or then.
Fox keep setting the camera on.
Yeah, so I thought I heard them out there squeaking, but they're there. They're helpful. They will do what they can do to help you through, and that's the most amazing part of it. They're always there reaching out. They're always there giving back, and you'll never find a better group of people to be around with, and not judging what you're wearing, not judging what you're, doing. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, they're not going to judge you. They're going to call you out on it. And that's when, it's up to you whether you want to continue on or you want to, take a step back. But most times they will get you through that.
Yeah, I give people rides, and it's people don't have a ride. I can't give them a ride to my in-person meeting Monday, Wednesday, Friday. One person every day. Either pick them up or he takes the bus in, but I always drive them home, and it's all part of just ask. 99.9% of the people are going to say yes. I'll help you get it there. When you go to the other anniversary, I have like 3 people already. I'm going to drive. It's all part. It's just like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like,
Yeah.
you do it. You're going there. You're going to help these other people go there, share experience, listen to 2 speakers, have some food, have some fun, meet people you haven't seen in a while. And it's all part of that, the fellowship and expanding, and it helps me too to see the people I haven't seen in a while. How you been? Talk about anything. You don't have to talk recovery. You can talk about sports. You can talk about Christmas or holidays or how's the kids doing,
yeah.
and all that other stuff. And
A lot of people are intimidated, especially the newbies in the beginning. It's a whole new thing.
me too.
Yeah, to sit in a room full of strangers and talk about your personal things and all, it's absolutely terrifying for some people in the beginning. You know, they don't understand it. They get this preconceived notion of like the meeting's like some kind of cult following type thing. You know, they listen to what everybody tell them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if you
gotta
want
get out,
to,
try it.
yep, you want to start meetings, you look for them anniversary meetings because the food's amazing. It's everybody brings food.
Yeah, and for those, if people are going to be shy in the beginning too. I was, me too. When I started doing person meetings, I didn't say a word.
And where did you sit?
I sat in the middle, and then in other meetings as close to the front as I could. It depends on the click chairs, that person's chairs. I pick out one, and as time went on, I started to open up a little bit. I couldn't put two sentences together without mumbling, bumbling, stumbling. But after a while, if the fear kind of subsided, I got comfortable with myself, and I could talk, openly about things, and not have the self-conscious thing, thinking I was the only one who ever had the problem that I talked about. When everybody, you get 90 other people saying, "Yeah, me too. Yeah, been there, done that."
Being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that you need to, experience, because they will bring you out of your shell and they will help you get to where you need to be. It really is amazing. And not just with those that are struggling with addiction or their recovery, the family members too. I think it's very important that if you are a family member, that you get as much education on addiction as possible, and also visit open meetings. And I'm not saying go to an open meeting with your loved one, because that might be a night that they need to talk and they may shut down because you're there. So go to an open meeting without your loved one so that you can listen to, the stories of those that are struggling, and the stories of those that are doing their recovery and doing it well, and asking questions at the end. To help you better understand addiction, why they can't stop, why they struggle with with relapsing. Education is the biggest tool, and you can go to school for all of this, but it's life lessons that teach you the most in this disease, and getting out there and talking to those that are in recovery will help you a great deal if you're a family member or a friend that is wanting to know what you can do and how you can do it for a loved one. And just, people, places, and things are such a big part of this. It is such a big part of it. And it can be a very scary part of it, because especially it's, if it's your child, it's one thing, they have recovery houses, they have other areas that they can go to. But when your spouse, you and your spouse own a home and are established in an area that they've been using, that they've been drinking in, when they come out of rehab, you're stuck with the people, places, and things. And it's not like you can say, okay, we're not going to move back here. We're going to, you can't. You have jobs, you have family, you have, children that might be going to school. So it's a lot harder when it's a spouse coming out of recovery. And I think it's very important, although financially it may not be possible for the spouse to go to recovery house outside of the area, so that they can build a stronger, recovery. So these are just things to think about. You know, and just staying away from things that are tough that bring you back to that thought process of drinking and drugging. Doing things that you didn't do before because you know that it's, you know, there's not going to be drugs or alcohol. So,
And people, places, and things is very important, especially in early recovery. I mean, that you can go back to eventually when you feel strong enough. But, you know, it's good to avoid certain things in early recovery that could trigger you and bring you back to square one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't recommend hanging out at the bar with your friends and not drinking. Just not a good idea.
no, it's not.
Not a good idea. Even though you're not drinking, you're sitting there, you're in the environment, and the brain is a tricky thing. And it's taking you back to another time, and without you maybe even realizing it, you know, now your brain is, you know, taking all this in, and then, you know, and then without even know, you might even be getting the urge again. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, something, you know, it's so strange how the brain works in addiction. I mean, like we always talk about, we do talk a lot about gambling lately, you know, but the same thing is like with an addict. If they're going to go cop their drugs, the process already starts. I mean, the brain starts working, this and that. You know, just like an alcoholic going to the package store, you know, boom, that's all their fix is already started. Just the anticipation of getting what you need, and it already gets everything in motion. So anything that could trigger that anticipation, I highly recommend to avoid in early recovery. I mean, hang out with your sober friends more. I mean, you know, them regular friends are going to want to drag you off to the bar to watch the football game or this or that. It's just not a good idea. Like I said, especially, you know, in early recovery, you got to be, you got to be vigilant. You know, and you got to be very careful.
Yeah, I isolated when I first got out of rehab. When I figured out I'm going to live on my own now, because it had to be a certain time that, you know, how am I going to do by myself? I isolated. I went no place but meetings. And once, you know, I would turn down even family functions and all. You know, they knew what the situation I was in. You know, but they invite me anyway and all. But it wasn't so much being there, but going home. You know, passing the bar, passing that place where I could pick up. Until I was, you know, mentally ready to do that, I stayed home and isolated. Then, when I started to go out, I did it with family. And pretty much it's 90% of what I do now anyways with family. And, you know, I put myself in a situation where they knew what I was, you know, that I was an alcoholic. So, you know, they could pretty much help me police myself or police me to not drink or get the urge or sneak off to get a shot real fast. I'm going to the bathroom, hit the bar, and come back. You know, none of that. Because I've done that before, too. Yeah.
And something that's really scary, and you don't think about this, I mean, I was shocked how many people turn to hand sanitizer because there's no alcohol in the house. It's all been,
Yeah,
you know,
I was
taken out.
I never did that, but I was shocked,
Yeah.
too. It was like,
I was like blown away. I was like, hand sanitizer, really? Oh.
yeah.
You know, and what's the strangest thing is when your loved one's about to come home and you have to clean out medicine cabinets and kitchen cabinets, mouthwash, extract. Like there's so many things that are in that they're just common everyday off the shelf kind of things, and you don't think about it. And then medicines, like over the counter, oh, you have a cold. Well, now you have to read labels, and there's not much out there that you can take when you're in recovery, because it all has, you know, those things that can, you know.
Or high blood pressure. You gotta be careful what you take. I mean,
Yeah, I did the mouthwash thing. I'm proud to say, really, you know, Yeah.
Well, you had fresh breath.
Yeah, fresh breath. Yeah, I don't remember it. Yeah.
It's
Oh, cream the mint, please.
Yeah. To think that I, actually stooped to that, it was like, oh man, I can't believe I did that, but I did it. And at the time, it was like, there's no alcohol in the house. I'm living in my house out with my parents and all, but the mouthwash has. I'm checking the alcohol content of the mouthwash and like,
yeah.
and
I
then-
mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely
Making some
insane.
chocolate chip cookies. Did you see the vanilla extract, Larry?
Yeah. Did you see
I
that
don't know, Mom.
pure vanilla extract? Like, it's just crazy when you think about all of these things that.
Yeah, so many things. Drugs you think would not even be appealing. Imodium, got to get it out of the house, especially if you have a person with an opiate addiction. Who would ever think Imodium would be something that would be abused? It can be.
Right.
I won't go into it. It can mimic the effects of an opiate if taken in high dosages.
Absolutely
High doses
insane.
and with other.
Blood pressure medicine. Why would they take that? They will take it. So, if you're bringing somebody into the house, you're bringing them home. You got to go through the medicine cabinets and the linen closet and everything. You got a clean house.
Everything.
Lock it up if you have to. Get rid of it if at all possible.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so bizarre on some of the things. Like I have somebody in my life that was coming home after a very long haul, and they were like, oh, well, I got them the cold stuff and I got them the flu stuff. And I'm like, stop. You have to read the bottles. This is the only thing they can take for a cold and flu. Everything else needs to be locked up. Well, it's just, I'm like, you don't understand.
You got to watch these decongestants and all these other things and these over the counter medications.
Exactly, because
you
they
gotta be
can
very
hit
careful.
that euphoric feeling and take them right back to the bottle. So you have to be mindful of that. It's crazy to think, about that stuff, but that's what's going on. It's, if Crepes kids were doing, what were they? The purples, they were calling it something, purple Kool-Aid or something.
Purple drink? I don't know.
Yeah.
With the cough medicines and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't go right back to the alcoholic drink too. It's like a roadway. There's detours, but you'll wind up at the same old place. Yeah.
And I just want to bring this up too, because we have the holidays approaching. We have Thanksgiving where people get depressed.
Don't go to bath salts.
And
So that's insult.
Personal
don't go running out to the store and say, well, Uncle Harry's going to be here. I'm going to pick him up some O'Doul's because he's not drinking anymore. That is something that can be very scary for somebody, because just
Non-alcoholic beers or
tasting it,
mocktails.
mocktails are another thing. If you're not, really working a program and you're not strong enough, those things can take you right back, because you're tasting it. It's being served in a glass, that jingles with ice, and you're tasting it like, okay, well, where's my euphoric feeling? I need my
juices
euphoric.
start flowing. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I never drank a beer when I go to the program, like a non-alcoholic beer, because I was pretty much more of a beer drinker than anything else. And I knew, like, I would taste that taste, and, it might go away for a day or two, but having that taste in my mouth, whether it had alcohol or not, it would just keep repeating in my head,
Sure.
thinking about it. I could almost feel at my taste buds how that beer would taste like. And that would just, be lighting a fuse. Now I might have to fight that urge again.
Right.
And it's even worse after I had that, that little taste of alcohol or non-alcohol. Because it tastes like beer, and I drank a lot of beer. And now, when I was on my trip, I had a couple mocktails, but it didn't do anything for me, as far as urges go, because that wasn't my type of drink. That wasn't the one that got me hooked on alcohol. It was beer got me hooked on alcohol. Then I had other straight stuff like the whiskey, the vodka, and all that other stuff. But, I viewed these mocktails as just a fancy soda, a fancy drink for me, and that's the way I treated it. And it was just something different. It's not, and it worked for me. It might not work for other people who were more into the mixed drinks and stuff like that, because that might be their trigger.
Was it a Cosmo? Come on,
No.
fess up.
No, I don't even know what half the stuff was. It's got this and that. No, I don't care. It's,
And
there's no alcohol in it. That's fine.
even if
I don't want
alcohol
it to
wasn't
taste
your
like a
drug of
soda.
choice.
Yeah.
All right, that's another big question. Even if alcohol was never your drug of choice, say you had a benzodiazepine habit or cocaine habit or an opiate addict habit, you can't drink alcohol either. Even if alcohol was never an issue for you, because you can't outsmart your brain. You'll drink
Where
the
did I hear that
alcohol,
before?
and you'll get a buzz, but your brain goes, "Yeah, this is all right." But you know what? This isn't what I'm looking for. This is not what I'm craving. And now you're going to crave even more, and you're going to lower your inhibitions, and it's going to lead you back to square one to your drug of choice. It really is. So even if alcohol was never an issue, I mean, you got to be abstinent. You got to be vigilant. I mean, you just have to realize you can't go back to drugs or alcohol. I mean, you got to
Right.
become abstinent of all of them, because they will lead you back to square one, whether you believe that or not.
Yep. The worst one's the first one.
Yes.
First one's
Yeah.
the first one. There we go. It's
Yeah.
another mug.
Another mug. Yeah. There you go. The worst one's the first one.
Another mug.
I put my trademark on there. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, well, we'll give you a residual.
Yeah. But you don't think about any of these things. Like, it's, I don't have any beer, wine, or alcohol in the house, so everything's good. And then you don't realize, all the triggers or all of the things that could take so innocently and make you go right back to where you were. And, that's scary. But it's homework. You need to be really looking out for all that stuff. You have to be, reading labels. It's so important. We have almost 15 minutes left.
Yeah. Where are my people? I took a couple people from my morning group. Oh, I'm going to listen tonight.
But I can't figure out the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
How to get on.
You have to pick the live feed. It has to say live.
Yeah, I told them all that when you gave me the information. They copied it. And, oh,
And
well.
they may be out there, but they may be
They're
watching.
not commenting. They might be in the background out there.
Right.
Say something so I know you're here, okay?
Yeah. Raise your hand so Larry knows
Yeah.
you're here.
Don't trigger me.
Yeah. And if you're afraid to raise your hand because your name will show up on the feed, you can always call in and say you're Joe Bag of Donuts.
That's our live
And-
number up there, 267-737-8031. You can call in, disguise your voice. Mm-hmm. Talk to a cup or something. You
Yeah.
know,
Put a handkerchief
Yes.
over there.
Yes. Is there anybody out there struggling right now that could use some suggestions?
Yeah, any questions?
Anybody worried about the holidays? Are you sweating it? You know, because you got people who are uncomfortable. They don't know what to say to you. They know you're in recovery, and then it makes you feel guilty, like they're acting all antsy and weird.
Yeah, been there, done that. Yeah.
And Stacy,
Like you're a leper or something.
Right.
You know, they're nervous. They don't know what to say.
right? And Stacy, you can pray for your loved one all you want. They're going to do what they're going to do until they're ready. And
And as far as that cousin being lost to fentanyl, that's not going to deter anyone. Believe it or not, it does not.
no,
I mean, I've seen it some time and time again. I mean, it's a disease. They think that they ain't hurt nobody but themselves, and they're not going to be deterred by anyone else's shortcomings from
right.
it. I mean, you become numb to certain emotions like
Matthew, hello.
guilt or empathy or anything.
GMG.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's one of your people.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad
you.
you tuned in there, Patty.
They're out there.
Appreciate
They're
that.
just
Okay.
sitting in the
Sandbagging in the
background.
background.
Okay,
They're just peeking on you.
good.
Never thought he was a TV celebrity, huh? What do you think? He's going places.
I went from my picture to post office to now on live feed, so
But and
He's going places, and then unbelief
Yeah.
in God,
Yeah.
we know where
Yeah.
that place is.
yeah. I'm
And-
not going to mention those places.
right.
No.
And Stacey, you have to realize that you do have a voice. You can point out when they're doing, something good, something positive. We always have, they may be only teeny tiny little moments that we can see them doing something positive. When we're dealing with our addicts, our biggest problem is our very biggest problem is that we are always arguing and fighting with them. Night, Barb.
Hi, Barb.
We're always fighting
Make
with
that
them,
coffee.
arguing with them, because we're so
He's
frustrated.
our favorite celebrity, too.
Yeah. Boy, you're pretty short of celebrities, huh?
Yeah.
You gotta get more hero worship with other people. huh?
Yes.
Good luck at work, Barb, and don't be getting unionized there like them Starbucks people.
Get unionized. Get
But also
That Starbucks
know,
union ain't helping nobody but themselves.
sending positive, little inspirations to, her phone. That's helpful. That's showing that you're there. You would love to see her do better. And you're not judging her for where she's at. And
It's nice to know you got someone in your corner, because when you're that deep into your addictions, you feel like everyone's given up on you. You've burned all your bridges. There's no hope. Yeah, but everybody likes to know there's hope. There's no problem in just telling her, "Yeah, I love you." And should you ever decide to seek treatment or anything, I will support you 100%.
right.
I mean, at least it's always good to know you got somebody in your corner, without enabling or giving money or anything. It's just nice to know you got somebody in your corner.
Right. You never know when that right moment is, when a loved one or a friend reaches out and just sends you just out of nowhere, I hope you have a good day. I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're doing well. How much that helps them to see, okay, somebody does care, somebody is out there. That doesn't mean you have to bring them home and feed them and clothe them or any of that, giving them money or anything. It just is, something that a lot of them need. Just a pat on the back, just, good for you. So,
And Matthew, when Larry walks into our parent group, our family group meeting, he's like Norman Cheers. The whole room goes, "Larry!"
yes,
when I look behind me.
he's our hugger.
Yes, I'm the greeter.
He's
And
our
I just hang
greeter.
around him as much as I can because he's older than me, and it makes me look younger. That's my attraction. That's my attraction to a
Yeah,
celebrity.
I'll have to dye my beard, yeah.
Yes.
And put somebody, was it Grecian? The old
Yeah,
stuff there, yeah.
You don't want to do it. I tried that once. I'll
Yeah.
talk the story for another night.
Yeah, that was not a good
It
thing.
smelled like Port Richmond down there, like Bridesburg.
Yeah,
I
don't
know
light a
what they
match
put
so
in
your
that
hair
stuff.
go up.
Oh, it smelled like sulfur and something you would never want to put on your body.
You look good, but you smell awful.
They don't even look good. It turns your gray hair like a yellow. It's horrible. I just go natural.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, he's white.
I came to grips with my age
Yeah.
and my hair
He's got
turning
his
gray. and
mother's hair. He's salt and pepper.
I'm just
He's
glad I got hair.
white and black.
I look at the bright side.
Yep.
Hey,
I dyed my hair one time. My wife did for me. I mean, I spent more time picking out that dye than I had when I bought cars. And I got the lightest brown. I went to Walmart, of course, to buy it. It wasn't like I went to beauty supply.
I did my goatee once. It was
My wife put that. I look
blue on
like
the outside here and then orange stripe in the middle.
I look like a cross between a used car salesman and a retired porn
Yeah.
star. It was horrible.
It was-
Honest
That guy
Pappy's
dyes
used
his hair
motors.
6 blocks away. You can say
Yeah.
that's how I dyed my hair.
It was so funny.
I panicked. It was horrible. I was so upset. It was so.
I got a car for you. Yeah.
Calling her beautician friends and saying, "Oh, put dishwashing liquid, try to strip some of that pigment out." Like, it didn't work. They had a blank slate to work with. That was horrible.
That must be great. That thought crossed my mind too. And it's like, what are you, nuts? What are you out of your mind?
I was getting a
Just let it
haircut,
go.
like every week, just trying to
Go,
cut
yeah.
it off.
Who are you fooling? Yeah.
Yeah. Call your girlfriend. She does hair. How can I get this out? How can I stop this? And she's like, keep washing your hair in dish liquid. It'll eventually wash you out." It wasn't.
Seriously.
And it was supposed to be like 15 minutes on, and I'm like, hun, it's only been like 5
I said
minutes.
dishwashing, like what she said. You're soaking in it. I remember that one.
Yeah. He's like, I'm like, hun, it says 15 minutes, but your hair's like turning black and it's only been 5 minutes. He's like, no, it says 15. And I'm like, well, it's getting pretty darn dark. And he picked light brown.
It was the light. I'm holding up there. Yeah, and they got that accurate color on the box. With
Oh, yeah.
Like
that's
this is like
believable.
my most natural one here. Yeah, well, that was like $6 down the drain.
Yeah.
When we practice humility here, we were talking about ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
You can't
humble
laugh
lot.
at yourselves. Who can you laugh at?
Yeah. Humility is not weakness. Remember that.
Yeah, it is not.
Yes.
Facing yourself and realizing, you know.
You gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Just don't tire
Exactly.
her, men.
Exactly. So if anybody out there from Living Grins family group is watching, there will be no meeting Wednesday. Our next meeting will be on 12/13. 3 weeks.
We know we were scheduled for Wednesday, but something's come up, scheduling with Livergren and help and this and that. And
Right.
it is what it is.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Remember, if you need to talk to somebody, 267-737-8031.
Yeah,
people.
a few
Yes.
minutes left.
That's
You
our
got something you want
hotline
to
devoted
say? Yeah.
just to you. I mean, you can
Yeah.
get Lori at any time.
Yep. I'm always here. I'm here on Thanksgiving. So just call me and we can talk. If
We could talk turkey.
we can talk turkey or ham.
As long as,
or-
not
no
wild, as long as it's
stuffing.
not wild turkey.
Her name was Madge, soaking in it.
And we'll, yeah. You're soaking it. Dishwashing liquid. You're soaking in it.
It's like me when I took a bubble bath. I thought I missed her bubble, but I like scrubbing bubbles. Boy, did that burn.
Yes.
Well, you were like 68 at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I lost hair, or never mind. Okay.
Mr. Bubble. Madam, how do you do? Remember that? Mr.
Yes.
Bubble. And Crazy Foam. Remember Crazy Foam?
Mr.
Like,
Bubble.
it
Yeah.
was like shaving cream with a duck's head on it on there. You
Brush
Yeah.
my teeth with denture cream.
spray it over. Yeah, that's when your gums started receding.
Yes.
Oh, that
And-
was the preparation H that did
Yeah.
that. Never mind.
Yeah. So if you guys are starting to struggle, it's Thanksgiving and you don't know what to do, please reach out to your call numbers, your whoever it is that you talk to, whether it's your sponsor, whether it's somebody that gave their phone number. They will answer. If they don't answer, then call the next number. Keep calling until you find somebody that will talk to you.
And if you're new to the show, I mean, we're not all doom and gloom here. We like to have some fun and we joke around and we're very friendly. So don't take it as being unprofessional. We're not them stone
It's part of
faced.
recovery.
Yep, we're not them stone faced, strictly regimented type of show.
Big part.
We like to have fun.
Yes. So, if you guys have any thing going on and you need help, just reach out. That's the most important.
You have
That's
anything you want to plug recovery wise, always feel free to drop us a line. We'll mention it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're out there. We got millions of viewers.
millions.
I love talking to people on the show the first time.
That's why we
They're like,
buffer.
what?
That's why we buffer sometimes. So we just have so many people watching.
Coast to coast.
But-
we haven't heard from our buddy on the other side of the pond. lately,
No.
The Cereal something, or what was his name? Cereal Brain? I don't know.
Yeah,
a
serial
bug thing,
something. I
something.
forget what his.
Was a serial killer, I know that.
No, it was serial something. But we're always here to listen to anything that you need help with. We're not going to tell you what to do, how to do it, or why to do it. We're just going to give you
Tell you what we've done
and
what people
what,
we know have done and what's worked for them. You take what you think you can use and you leave the rest. And
Or come on the show.
or come on the show.
Come on
we
the
got
show and
plenty of
talk.
room in here and plenty of seats.
Yeah.
yes.
It's
we
a great
got an
experience.
awesome studio. This is a recording studio. This is my son's recording studio, and he allows us to take it over one day a week. And he's our engineer. He's right behind me.
And if you pay the right price, we won't expose the pictures.
And you can even play music. We got a full service studio here. We have a recording booth. We have a live room on the other side of the window in front of us here where full bands perform. This is the control room. We could show you, move the camera around, but it would be out of focus. But it's pretty cool control room. A lot of stuff in here, a lot of gear. A lot of
But,
guitars on the walls behind us. It's just it's a real cool place to be.
Yes. Eric, I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Right, and Eric, thanks again for all your knowledge there. You got it
Yes.
through. I had too many gigs that week and I couldn't tear that thing apart. She was a champ.
Yep.
She only lost one the end of her pinky on that sharp sheet metal, but that was it there. I mean,
Yeah.
she didn't need that finger anyway. She could still pick her nose. It fits in there.
And no, I did not find any money in there. I tried.
I took a dryer apart one time. The basket, or no, it was the washer.
It was the washing
I
machine.
found more shit on the other side of that basket, like 6 pairs of socks, but the best was an entire pillowcase was hiding on
Actually,
the other side of that.
actually, it was
actual
3
wardrobe.
pillowcases.
No, it was an amazing amount of stuff back there, and the thing was
And-
still working. That isn't what killed it.
And that's what I said. I'm like, that's what made him go down. I'm like, our pillowcases are missing.
We thought we were robbed. Somebody used a pillowcase to leave with the goods, but then we realized we don't have nothing.
I'm like, we can't even put our pillows in the cases. We don't have them here. They
terrible.
got sucked into
It was,
the
it was
wall.
a case that I solved.
Yes, a pillowcase that he solved. Okay, everybody. Have a very happy Thanksgiving holiday, whatever you want to call it. It's Thanksgiving here.
And if
And-
you forget our number, you can always tune back to the show. We got all our shows taped. Every one. We're on like, what are we on?
136. This
136
is
show number 136.
And if you're struggling, get in touch with somebody. There's always somebody or something out there that you can find help with. Either, on a Zoom or the telephone. There's 24-hour hotlines, If you
Telephone,
really,
telegraph, tell Larry, whatever it
Larry,
takes.
yeah.
Yes.
So,
And thanks for joining us, Matthew. We're here every Friday night.
yeah, Matt, thank you.
Oh, look at Barb still hanging in there.
She's
Night,
sandbagging.
Barb.
She
Love
was
you.
sandbagging. Good night, sweetie.
Everybody have a very
Get
happy,
to bed.
safe
People need
Thanksgiving.
that coffee.
Yes.
Barb moonlights on the weekend at
And-
the baristas.
And we will
That's
be
our
back
part-time
here Friday night. And feel
Next
free
Friday?
to next Friday.
Oh, after that, okay, good. No shopping. I'm done my Christmas shopping. Yay!
Oh,
I
you're
haven't
such
even
a show off.
started.
Get out
Yeah.
of here. No.
I haven't even started.
I'm such a dork.
The only person that gets his new Hallmark catalog in March
Yeah.
for the next year.
And if these people give me any trouble, I got something for the grandkids that never turns off.
that's
So,
right,
if
right.
they
Yeah.
give me any
You
trouble,
know, don't mess with me. 'Cause I see a place that sells cards like that. You open it up and it starts going, and there's no way to shut it off. And then you open it up, take the battery out, and all this confetti falls out all over the place.
Raccoony.
Yeah.
Boy, you got a regular petting zoo.
It's like Dr. Doolittle. All right, gang. Well, it's 10:29. It's about to turn 10:30. We appreciate you all tuning in. We'd like to wish you, on behalf of Living Hopeful, a great, sober Thanksgiving.
Pray for us. We're going to walk back out of the studio into a world of wildlife.
Yeah, you would think we live in the country out here.
Who's that guy,
Get yourself a
Wild
ring
Kingdom?
camera. You'd be surprised what lurks in your yard every night.
There's
Things
the
you would never think.
there's the raccoon right
I
now.
haven't seen a transient with a droopy eye one night on it. It scared the hell out of me, but I don't know where he went.
Yes.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
We got a family of
The
foxes
Parker's
that take
Wild
it over the
Kingdom.
yard. They
Yeah.
think they own the place. We got raccoons, skunks, opossums.
Gobble gobble. No turkeys though.
All right, gang.
All right, everybody. See you next week.
We're tuning out.
Thanks for popping in, Matthew. And hopefully you'll come back.
And
So
remember,
everybody,
recovery works if you work it.
peace out, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in.
We ride